Hello everyone and welcome to a new video. So that's one of the quick unboxing videos that we always do whenever we get a new product. In this video we're gonna look at the E55 Pro from Starseeker. So Starseeker is a famous company now, known for their good quality grinders and also good prices. So one of the best grinders they ever launched is the E55, and they launched it last year, and it has really received the good feedback from customers all over the world. And this is a newly enhanced E55, so they call it E55 Pro, and they've added some features to the Pro. That's why it's a Pro. So we'll together look at the grinder, and we'll do the unboxing first, then we'll look at how the grinder is built and what is the quality, what's the difference between this one and the previous one, and we can also look at the overall first impressions on how it grinds and all that. So let's open the box together and see what is inside. So first of all, before opening the box, I just wanna weigh the box to see how many kilograms. I believe it's around 5 kilograms. So it's a 4.6 kilograms. Okay, that's good. So let's see what's in the box together. Use my cheap knife, $1 knife. Okay, so similar box to all the previous boxes, except that the name, I believe, is written in green now, not in black. So let's take the box out. The white box inside the brown box. So that's how the box looks like. Looks good. I mean, well made. And then in the box there is a plastic bag. And this bag has the brush, like we always see in their grinders, and also the manual and a couple of extra spare springs in case you lost one of them while cleaning. Actually 3 springs. So the grinder has three springs inside, and they give you 3 extra spare springs just in case you need one. Actually, they are 4, not 3. Yeah, 4 extra springs to compensate any of the 4 springs inside the grinder. Then a foam, and this is the grinder in the box. So we have the adapter, much lighter adapter than the previous ones that used to be a couple of parts. This one is just one part, looks like the laptop adapter, and I think it has, yeah, that's I believe it's not removable. Yeah, so that's an adapter that works in my area, in my country, and similar to the previous ones, but in a very small size. Looks like the laptop, the phone adapters, kind of. And we have the cap and a couple of other pieces. We have the bellow, and that's, I believe, I'm not sure if it's an extra shoot. Yeah, that's an extra shoot that's made of plastic, but it is black. Okay. I believe this is the remaining part of the shoot. And here comes a small bottle, spray bottle, to do your RDT before grinding. And we have here the cup. I think this fits 58 size. Let's check that. Yeah, it fits the 58. A little bit smaller, but it will work well on 58 portafilters. And next is the grinder itself. So let's take out the grinder from the box and see how it looks like. Very similar to the previous one. I believe it will be also the same weight and the same motor. The differences will be in other aspects. So let's take out the box and put things together. So that's how the grinder looks like, first of all. So I got the previous one, the silver color. I got it the black color this time, so that it gives some contrast on my bar. So the grinder looks exactly similar to the previous one, except that the chute this time is made of acrylic. I believe this will help with reducing the static. Okay, strong magnets in the chute. Okay, and you can replace the chute with this one, I believe. So this one also can work like that. So you get the black color and you get the transparent color. So based on your preference, you can go with either of them, like that. Okay, not sure what this piece is. It's an extra piece that you can replace over the top part here. So in case you want to remove this one too, I believe this one has a couple of screws that you can take out, and then this can be placed instead of it so that you can get a completely black chute if you want. Okay, I think I'll keep the transparent one because it looks nice. This time the grinder has a built-in ionizer or plasma generator. So if you look closely to this part here of the chute, you will find that the couple of wires, black wires, are connected directly to that part, and I believe they will do a good job in reducing the static, better than the previous one. Okay, that's number one. Number two, the grinder itself has a titanium burrs inside, and as we know, like the previous one, it is stepless grinding. Okay, stepless grind adjustment, and the burr inside the grinder looks a little bit yellowish, kind of. Yeah, okay, and this is titanium coated burr, 55 millimeters burr, and you just need to put the bellow on the top if you need it, and then follow that with a cap. So you get the grinder ready on the top, on the front part like the previous one. You get the magnet also, so your grinder is ready to grind. Let's put the grinder in the plug and see how it sounds. So here we go. The grinder is now plugged, and that's how it sounds without any beans. And let's see how much is that in decibel. The decibel meter here. Just sticking it to there. So very quiet comparing to other grinders we have. So that's about the reading of it as a decibel, as a noise that it makes. So it's very quiet grinder when it comes to its sound. How about putting some beans in it and see? But before putting the beans, I would like to tell you that as per the company, as per Starseeker, this grinder is just like the previous one. It can grind for all range of coffee, starting from Turkish coffee. However, this is not recommended to get a grinder that's a home use grinder and use it only for Turkish coffee. But you can just, from time to time, you can grind for coffee in Turkish if you want. And that's because the grinder has a lot of range. So you do espressos around maybe 30 or 40 steps. From there you can do espresso, and all that before the 30 steps is just there for Turkish coffee. So as per the manual, they mentioned even higher numbers than that, as you can see in the manual. So the manual is in English and in Chinese, like they always do. They say that the Turkish coffee here is up to 40 steps, and espresso is like from 40 to 70, and then you go coarser for like a mocha pot from 70 to 100, and then you can do filter coffee after one full turn, and coarser also goes for other brew methods like the French press and the cold brew. So from the standpoint of having enough grind settings, you will have so much range to do your espressos and your filter coffee and all the types of brewing you're doing with the E55. You still can do it with the E55 Pro. So what makes it a Pro? Because that's a question of a lot of people. What makes it a Pro is, first of all, the burr in it is titanium coated burr, means longer lifespan and also sharper blades, and this will help in getting better consistency for the grind. That's number one. Number two is the built-in plasma generator. that is there to make it easier, because in the other grinders, if you some of you have seen the previous grinders, the plasma generator used to come from here, and it used to give a little bit of troubles when people use the grinders. Some of them used to be like, you know, conducting electricity, like, you know, the grounding used to, for some people, used to be like shocking them for some times. Not all of them, but some people have complained about that. But this time you just touch it without any problems. That's another advantage of such a plasma generator when it's built in the grinder. And then that you can see the coffee when it's grinding through the transparent chute. I think this is just giving it a little bit of a style more than a functionality. So let's put some coffee in it and see how it grinds. I will grind maybe around 20 steps to see how it goes. And because I've seen some people asking that the 0 point is not exactly on 0, for conical burr grinders, it's usually not like the flat burr grinders where you can get the burr stops exactly at 0. So for this grinder, for example, if you can see, you should start always from 0, even though the grinder can go beyond 0, as you can see, but that's just because the burrs should not touch each other. So maybe you can go up to 65 before 0, but these are steps that you should not ever grind on, because that might get the burrs to touch each other, and that's not recommended at all when it comes to conical grinders. So you start as if the 0 is the 0 point, and I'll go 20 steps past 0 and see how fine the grinds are when I grind them. Okay, so that's just a piece of information that I thought it might be useful for some of you who always ask that question. Wow. So I need to show you that, guys, because it really looks so good. Let me get the phone closer. So I'll add more coffee. First, let's blow that and see first how it looks like. Then I'll add more coffee and show you how the coffee is at 20 steps. That's fine enough for like non-pressurized basket. So it's good espresso grinds. As you can see, the coffee is like sticking to my fingers. So that's because it's very fine. We usually don't do espressos at 20 steps. You should start from more than that. So I usually do like 40 or 30 steps. So I'll just make it as a 30 steps and show you how it grinds. So I'll get the grinder close. I'll add some more coffee and show you how the grinds look like. So I'll fill some coffee here without any RDT, and let's see how the grinds fall. No mess at all. So no mess at all is produced with using the grinder. Even the eclairic is doing a good job, because as you can see, no coffee is sticking to the chute. That was one of the complaints about the previous grinder, the E55. I believe we should do another video for comparing both grinders together, but as you can see, no coffee is sticking here at all. It gives very professional and consistent grind settings, grinds I mean, and the quality of grinds is, as we all know, like the previous one, it's a very good consistent ground coffee. So I don't doubt at all the quality of coffee it produces, I mean the grind quality, and I am really surprised without the need to do any kind of RDT, and yet I get very good grind quality. The coffee is just falling seamlessly from the chute without sticking, without spreading here or there. Even when you use the bellow, nothing is falling. The cup is very good. There is nothing sticking to the cup, and that's just the grinder out of the box. without any kind of seasoning. I believe with running some coffee in the grinder, this can help the grinder to really deliver better quality. So let's see how it does when I grind for filter coffee. So for filter, I believe we should go one full turn and go from there. So one turn has 100 steps. So I will grind at maybe 120 steps and see how the quality is. And again, I'm just getting the coffee directly from the box. I usually use these types of coffees for my grinding experiments, so that I don't ruin good specialty coffee. So let's see that. Wow. This is the best grinder for home I have used for such a price in my life. So better than the Niche Zero I used for years now, better than all their previous grinders as well that have plasma generators. This is really a next level when it comes to finally getting a grinder that doesn't make any mess around it. So the grinds look nice. Let's put that on the white plate so it can show well. So that's how the grinds at 120 steps. I believe it's still giving good quality, good consistency for the grinds. Comparing that to the very fine grinds we did in the beginning. So it's really a good job. What I like about that is that the price of these grinders is falling between the brackets of $200 something. So it's not that much for a grinder that delivers all the types of coffee that you can try to brew at home, starting from Turkish coffee up to like French press and cold brew. So let's try to do a shot of espresso without seasoning the grinder, and even without dialing it in on any type of coffee. I'll just try to grind some coffee beans and run them through my Mara X and see how the grinder will perform. So for the ones of you who might be asking what is the weight of the grinder before I just proceed with my experiment, the grinder itself weighs I believe 3.5. Yeah, it's a 3 kilograms and 3,070 grams. So it's like 3 kilograms. Okay, so good weight, not very light, not very heavy. So let's grind some beans and see how it will perform in a real life. So I will grind 18 grams of these beans. That is Guatemala Finca natural anaerobic beans. Medium light roast, roasted at home using my Skywalker, and the beans look nice, smell nice as well. 2 weeks of roasting. Let's see how that will turn into the cup. So I'm dialing in this bean. I don't know what grind settings I should be using, but I will keep it around maybe 35. Yeah, I'll just keep it at 35 and see from there, because usually 35 is a lucky number for me on the previous grinder. So I'll just see if it's gonna deliver the same results or no. No RDT. I'll just pour the beans in the grinder after turning it on like that and seeing. That's very nice. That's really good. So there is a lot of clean. I mean, the area around the grinder is clean. There is no dust, no coffee dust on the table, as you can see, and in the cup. The grinds look okay, but I made a very big mistake that these grinds are ground at 130 steps. I should go back like 100 steps. So we'll just do that. And through another 18 grams of beans. And these beans can be used for filter coffee. So I'll keep these beans for filter coffee in one of the plastic containers and grind another 18 grams of the same bean. So we can use it for filter as well, so that we can give it a good first impression on both filter and espresso. I think it's a good idea. So let's do that. So I'll keep these grounds for now to do the filter coffee after we do the espresso and see the differences. And for now, let's weigh another 18 grams and see how it will grind them for espresso. But so far, the plasma generator is doing an excellent job, in my opinion. And the best thing is that I didn't try the grinder before. I just saw it in the ads and I opened the box with you guys without any preparation, without anything. And I usually don't do any scripting for my videos. I just open the box with you. I try it like I'm just having it at home and I'm sharing it with my friends. That's how my philosophy is. So let's do the 18 grams for espresso this time. And as you can see, it's very clean process. Very clean process. And with a couple of puffs like that, you can take out the remaining of the coffee in the grinder. That's how the coffee looks like, ground for espresso. I think it's okay. Maybe some of you are asking whether the sound of the grinder, how it sounds if I grind for, if I turn on the sound meter while putting some coffee beans in it. I can do that also for you, no problem. Let's try that, but after I prepare this cup of espresso. So I'll quickly do the puck prep. I'll use the same prep I always use. So I will be using the Womu D8 as well as the force tamper. It's a very consistent puck prep every time, so I don't question myself whether I did any changes with preparing the coffee. It's always the grind settings, the beans, and that's it. So that's how the coffee looks like. And now I will be extracting the coffee. So let's start the grinding, the extraction. I'm gonna turn on the timer just for my reference. And that's really looking nice. Maybe I need to grind a little bit, just a little bit. But as you can see, the settings are not very far from what I need. It's around 30 seconds, 28 or 29 seconds. That's how the coffee looks like. That's 2 weeks of roasting or a little bit more. 19 days exactly. So the coffee looks nice, very good crema, very good extraction as a first shot. Wow. So the acidity that I'm expecting from this coffee is really nuanced in this cup. and the fruity taste due to the anaerobic processing is very obvious. So guys, let's quickly show you how it sounds when it grinds before doing the last experiment with us today, which is the filter coffee. So right now, that's the surrounding environment. It's like between 30 something to 40. When I speak, it goes to 60, maybe 50 something, 60 something like that. And the grinder itself sounds around 55 without beans, and that's how it sounds with beans. Okay, so towards the end of 60s, from 65 up to 70 with beans in it. And that's how it is sounding with beans. Now let's move on to the last experiment, which is filter coffee. So I'll use Hario V60 V1, size 1. So let's get a spoon. That's how you can see that the top bed is not muddy like other conical grinders, for example, near zero. See how the bed looks like, the surface of the bed. So this coffee is better when it's done filter, not espresso. Usually anaerobic beans will give more fruit notes and more acidity when it's done as filter coffee. So you will always enjoy it when you do a filter coffee. So the taste is good. It's not as the taste you expect from an SSP multi-purpose brewer, for example, but it does a very good job when it comes to filter coffee as well. So what I do usually on my daily basis when I go to my office, I usually take my ground coffee for filter from home. I usually grind it with any grinder, not just an SSP grinder. And I would say that this is like taking 7 or 8 out of 10 for filter if I compare it to something like the SSP multi-purpose. The taste is good. The notes are visible, the clarity is there on my tongue, and also the body of the coffee is not very light or very heavy, and the overall taste of the bean that I know very well is there, it's present on the cup. So that's about the filter coffee. So even for filter coffee, it is performing well for the first cup. So these are just the first two cups of filter and espresso, and really it's a good job. So guys, that was my first impression and unboxing of the E55 Pro grinder from Starseeker. I just wanna make sure that I covered everything in this video. In case you have any more comments or any more questions, you can definitely write them down in the comments. I'd be glad to answer all of them. And I will do a comparison between this one and other grinders like we usually do. For example, the previous E55 from the same company, and also some other grinders like Niche Zero, since it's a very famous grinder and people usually use it as a benchmark for home espresso users. So I would be eager to see what's your reaction about this and what are your comments. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll leave the link to buy the grinder in the description of the video, as well as all the details you might need. Thank you so much for watching, and see you in the next one.